Okay, everybody, Shannon here, and I have a special guest with us today, Jim with NuCalm. He is one of the owners with your brother, right, Jim?
Twin brother, yes.
Twin brother. Okay, I didn't realize that. And this company has changed my life, and I've been really interested to figure out why. I don't really understand the why behind it. I just know that it works. So it's not a secret that I've had a few health issues. And one of the things that I've struggled with because of pain is sleep. And my dear friend, Becky, told me about NuCalm, and she said, you need to get this app and you need to try it. And so did the free trial deal, and I tried it because I only had, I think it's 7 days on the trial. And I'm like, I need to really, try this and see. And so I did it every night, and really was for the sleep is what I was after. And the first night I did like the crickets and the chirping in the summer, whatever. That wasn't quite what I wanted. The next night we used it. Sounds to me a lot like a fan. And it's interesting because my husband always, when we travel, he has a sound machine thing on his phone that plays a fan, right? So that's what we're used to when we travel, sleeping, and it helps him sleep. And I'm just used to that noise. Well, we how I discovered that this works is he doesn't have a login. Only I have a login at this point. We're going to change that. But at this point, that's what we have. And so I'll usually he's the one that goes to sleep last or gets winds down last. So he would just turn on his fan. And I realized when he turned on just the fan that I wasn't getting sleep, like, the new calm sleep, which is so odd to me because they sound so very similar. And I told Becky, I said, I don't know what the secret recipe is or how this thing is working, but if I don't sleep with my Nucom, I do not get as good a sleep. And it's a good, real good for me, straight 5 hours of sleep, and that's pretty consistent. I mean, I still sleep longer than that sometimes, but I think the real good deep sleep for me is about 5 hours. So I said, I've got to interview these guys and figure out more about this and how can this help others because I've struggled to find in my healing journey things that work. And I know that y'all have more out there in this amazing app that I can work through and try. And I think it'll help a lot of people. So I'd love to know how you got involved in NuCalm, kind of the history about it, and what the heck is it that makes it work?
It's a good question, and we could talk for hours on the science, but we are a neuroscience company. We're not a music company. We're not an entertainment company. We're not a white noise company, a fan sound company. We're a neuroscience company, and we've been around for 34 years. The journey began in 1990 with the esteemed neuroscientist, quantum physicist, Dr. Blake Holloway, who went on a quest of invention and scientific discovery to figure out a way to help humans resolve stress, improve their sleep, really around complex trauma without drugs. It's a big ask. It's a
It is
big
a big
task.
ask. Yeah.
Took him 19 years. Now, Blake Holloway was one of the brightest human beings to walk this earth. I mean, the man was a genius amongst geniuses, and that just showcases how complex the human brain is. It took him 19 years to figure this out. And what he
Wow.
figured out was a method using complex math and algorithms and physics in a software and using your ears to carry a signal to present to your brain. And then your brain synchronizes with that signal. Now, the music you hear is just for you, it's just nice. So the music has nothing to do with what we're doing. Music can't change your state. Like you mentioned, your husband listens to a fan. That's a
Mhm.
distraction for his central nervous system. It's not doing anything for him. Simply a distraction. We're not interested in a distraction. We're interested in taking you someplace. So, what used to be a highly regulated FDA Class 3 medical device that sold for $6,000 was exclusively available from 2009 to 2021 only to the elite military, Special Forces, Navy SEALs, the FBI Hostage Rescue Team. pilots, professional athletes, celebrities, and doctors. That's the only groups we served for
Wow.
13 years. And then beginning in 2016, we said, we have to find a way to make this accessible, affordable, and easy to use. But when you're dealing with the brain and you're dealing with neuroscience, there's never a clear path because you don't know how you're going to figure it out. But we did. And in November of 2021, we launched a mobile app, taking all of our science and put it into a mobile app, and then lowered the price 99% so that we could achieve affordable, accessible, and easy to use. So the science is complex and the history was complex. We went through the FDA, we went through Health Canada, we went through military approval. We have 52 medical advisors on our advisory board. Our
Wow.
research was done at NASA and at Harvard, and we studied stage 4 cancer versus the Chicago Blackhawks. We were awarded the world's only patent for lowering stress and improving sleep quality without drugs in 2015. And then we were awarded the only patent in the world for a method used to elicit a state change in a human brain in 2021. So um, we're not a marketing company. We're not a gimmick. We're not a gadget. We're not a gizmo. We're not an app. We're a tried and true neuroscience company solving complex human problems using physics and math and science. So you're benefiting from NuCalm just as anybody will benefit from NuCalm by using it for sleep or using it for performance or using it for focus or using it for recovery. So we basically help humans address four pillars of their life: sleep, recovery or cellular restoration or anti-stress, focus, and performance. And our strength, our years of history, our science was built around recovery. So allow me to share with the audience a little physics, a little brain stuff. Not going to get too technical. We don't need to get nerdy and Star Trek out, but I just want to
Right.
share with people kind of how our brains work. Because when we know how our brains work, then we can actually do things about it. So the human brain, your brain, my brain, everybody's brain, 8.4 billion people on Earth, it oscillates in a frequency range. There's a range of frequency: high frequency, low frequency. There are five categories of frequency, beginning with the slowest frequency of delta. So there's delta, theta, and alpha, which is delta is zero point 0.5 hertz to 4 hertz. So a big slow wave. Your brain is slow. You're in dreamless like deep sleep. Delta is dreamless like deep sleep. A faster frequency, 4 hertz to 7 hertz, is theta, theta. Now, theta is fascinating because it is the healing zone. That sounds like that sounds delicious. I'd like to go there.
Yeah.
Well, it is the only time in the human biorhythm that your cells clean their toxins, your mitochondria is restored, and you have cellular restoration. And it is in one of the stages of sleep, and it's theta brainwave function, and it's a certain frequency. Now, it happens to be just above deep sleep, but it's like this lucid dream state. Then a faster frequency is 8 hertz to 12 hertz, and that's called alpha. So many of your listeners who do transcendental meditation or, breathing exercises or yoga, tai chi, they can kind of slow their brain wave down to alpha. And that's synonymous with creativity, being in the zone, being relaxed, having a quiet mind.
Yeah. I'm not
Then
ever good at that.
many of us aren't.
Yeah.
Then we get into the faster frequencies. There's two action-oriented frequencies, and that's beta and gamma. Now, beta is where we spend most of our daily activity. 13 to 15 hertz is you're awake, but not that inspired. You're kind of just faking it till you make it. 15 to 20 hertz is the learning zone. People don't know there's a learning zone. There's a
Right.
specific frequency, 18.4 hertz, that allows for no distractions, great clarity, great efficiency, and you're thinking and you're learning. Then when we get above that zone, 20 to 25 hertz is where many of us spend our time, and that is fear, stress, anxiety, worry, irritability, overwhelm, agitation, impatience. it's a faster frequency.
Right.
25 to 30 is a higher degree of fear and stress and worry and anxiety. So if you think about it logically, you're like, okay, that makes sense. When my brain's going too fast, I'm distracted, I'm agitated, I'm not getting enough oxygen. And then 30 to 38 hertz is pure fight or flight. So you're in a state of shock and your brain is kind of shut off and your body is surviving. Now, here's what gets fascinating about the brain. Above all of that chaos is this sweet spot called gamma, 39 to 41 hertz, the fastest frequency. And this they see in the brains of monks, meditating monks, get to this sweet spot of high intensity, but it's focus. And in the research specifically done by Rudy Tanzi at Harvard Medical School in the last 10 years, they're seeing that this high frequency of gamma is actually helping reduce amyloid plaque and some of the neurodegenerative cognitive issues. So there's a great clarity there. Okay, so that is the operating system of the human brain. That's fascinating. No one tells us this. Nobody knows
Right.
this. But that's how this works. There are five categories of brain waves. Delta, theta, and alpha are slow waveforms, and they're all in sleep. And then beta and gamma are active. So what Dr. Holloway figured out was if I can safely and reliably bring anybody's brain to theta, the body knows how to heal itself. I need to liberate the monkey mind and the chaos and the high frequency and just hold them there. Now, there are two ways, Shannon, to trick the human brain. There's visual stimulation, which we learned from Sigmund Freud. This is called frequency following response. You're following a frequency to elicit a response. But a lot of people, especially traumatized people, they have a very strong amygdala and reptile part of our brain, the fight or flight mechanism. They can avoid visual stimulation, like 35% of the population. You can't do anything to me.
Right.
The second way to do this is through the auditory motor cortex, using your ears like a Trojan horse. Once you put headphones on and you press play on the NuCalm app, your brain has no escape route. You can't hear what we're doing. So the brain can't really resist something it doesn't even hear and know is happening. So we use music to create a nice experience while we bring 1 to 2 to 3 gigabytes of patented algorithms and math, and we present your brain with a signal, and your brain says, hey, I've had a tough day. Everybody seems against me. I'm starting to relax. All my worries are starting to go away. And then you levitate in this state just above deep sleep, and your body gets to heal and you get to oxygenate your entire body and your mind because we slow down your frequency and we open up your respiration. So it seems magical. And for your
It is
audience,
magical.
yeah,
It is.
you've never heard of anything like this because it never existed before we pioneered this. So we've been pioneering advanced neuroscience to solve complex human problems for 34 years. And only in the last 3 years were we affordable and accessible and delivering it through a mobile app. So here's what's fascinating and here's what's really fun. You ready?
Yes.
We perfected the art of taking everybody's brain to the healing zone. That's our core. That's what we're really good at. And in this journey, we began in medicine. We've done more than 2,300,000 surgical procedures, replacing general anesthesia with people being operated on, wearing an eye mask and listening to our physics with a headphone. That's
Wow.
how powerful this is. And it's amazing. I didn't need to take this technology and this company through the FDA, through the Medical Advisory Board, through the patents, through Health Canada, through the military. All you need to see is a surgery, and you're like, how are we doing this? This is insane.
Right.
So that's the core fundamental of what we did. And I remember I've witnessed about 400 surgical procedures. So I remember talking to Dr. Holloway and said, listen, doc, if we can take everybody's brain to this place, and it doesn't matter how stressed you are, when you're going into a surgery, you're stressed, and we can do it quickly and predictably and safely, Can we take them to sleep at zero point 0.5 hertz? Yes. Can we take them to creativity at 7.83 hertz? Yes. Can we take them to focus at 18.4 hertz? Yes. Can we take them to high intensity at 41 hertz? Yes. So back in 2016, we began a path to take our core of theta and say, we're going to take this technology and change the algorithms and the outcome to put you to sleep, to put you to focus, to put you to high intensity. So today on your mobile app, you have this color coded product offering, and you can see sleep, obviously, it's for sleep. You can see rescue, that's for recovery. You can see power nap, that's for recovery. You can see flow state, that's for creativity. You can see focus, that's for mental focus. So, in the last several years, we went from a single product, which was called Rescue, which brought you to a healing state, and we sold a complicated four component FDA medical device for $6,000. Today, we have six products on a single mobile app that manages all five categories of your brainwave. You simply select the outcome you want, and you'll see there that all of the products except for sleep require a headphone. The deep sleep that you're loving was the most complicated because we didn't want people to have to go to sleep with a headphone. So
Right.
it took us 9 years to invent deep sleep. But as soon as you turn that on, you hear summer rain, or you hear, cicadas at a vortex in Sedona, or you hear what sounds like that white noise. But underneath that is a couple gigabytes of mathematics guiding your brain into sleep. So that is what we do. So I tell people, follow the science, not the marketing. We're not a gizmo. We're not a gadget. We're not an app company. We're not a music company. We're not an entertainment company. We
Right.
are a neuroscience company solving your stress and solving your sleep in your brain by using headphones and a mobile app. I mean, it's
It's
crazy.
crazy. It's crazy. And so I've done the power nap and I did the headphones with that. I tried the focus one time. I don't think mentally I was in the place for it. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I don't know why. I've not tried it back since. And I knew we were going to do this interview. So I thought I'm just going to keep doing my deep sleep. And then I'll get the recipes from you of what I need to be doing. Because it is a little, I can't do it all, for me. So I got to take it little bits. And that's what I want to share with our audience. You got to pick that one thing. Try the sleep, see if that works. To me, that was the easiest to try. And then trying that power nap. And it is truly a 20-minute power nap, but you feel like you get 3 hours of sleep. You really, really do. It is magical to me.
It
So
is magic.
when you take it from there, if you have somebody that's needing to heal, let's start with that recipe. What do you recommend? Like realistically for somebody to achieve
So
and do every
let's
day?
take cancer, let's take Alzheimer's, let's take Parkinson's, let's take dementia, let's take a wound, let's take an injury. In this state, you have a high level of inflammation. In this state, your immune health is compromised. In this state, your stress level and your cortisol is high. So the recipe is really simple. Rescue each day. Now, rescue is our core therapy. Rescue is an immersive experience. You're essentially meditating like a monk without ever having to learn even how to spell meditation. Because we're taking you to a brain state called theta, the healing zone, and we're doing this within 5 to 8 minutes. So you find a safe, comfortable place, preferably your bed. You put an eye mask on because we're visually stimulated by light. We can't take you to this healing state and have your eyes open. You put a headphone on and you press start on a rescue track. Now, fascinating enough, and similar to what happened to you with Power Nap, the first couple minutes, nothing happens. It can't. We can't. Your brain has a locus of control. Your brain is in charge. You can't just take your brain and say, hey, Shannon, we're going to go to 4 hertz. It doesn't work that way. So the first couple minutes we call the departure lounge. We're literally seeking permission from your central nervous system to say, hey, we're going to take you to a safe place and we're going to take you down. We're going to take you up. We're going to take you down. We're going to take you up. We're just showing you that this is safe. And then at minute 5 in Power Nap or minute 8 in Rescue, you go down. Your body starts to sink into the bed. Your brain kind of wanders in this lucid dream state. You're probably falling in and out of sleep, especially if you're healing because your body's exhausted. And we're like David Copperfield with Power Nap and Rescue. We're just levitating you just above deep sleep. Just literally 4 hertz is just above deep sleep. But what happens is we're all sleep deprived. 87% of the human population today state they're having difficulty sleeping most of the time to all of the time. We are all sleep deprived, especially post-COVID, where we just kind of went through a really strange shift and everything that we thought was normal was no longer normal. And it challenged our central nervous system and our energy. We're all exhausted. So rescue and power nap levitate you there. And in that state, and only in that state, we're healing. And we're healing on a cellular level. So your cells are cleaning their toxins and they're doing what you'd call your cellular maintenance, like a maintenance crew in your high school, or when you clean up your dishes after cooking food. And your mitochondria is restored. Your mitochondria is the energy source of your cells. So to heal, we need to reduce our stress, lower our inflammation, and we need restorative sleep. But what happens when we're sick, when we're ailing, when we have disease, is our monkey mind gets going and where our sleep is compromised. So it's
Yeah.
weird. It's like, wait a second. When I need sleep the most, I'm getting it the least, which further perpetuates the disease or the pain and the suffering. And it's a real bad challenge. And people become hopeless. People become desperate. When you have sleep issues, one of the biggest challenges is quieting your mind as you're starting to anticipate not being able to sleep tonight.
It's awful. And the chronic pain, until I've started living with this chronic pain the last few years, I never understood. Like it is really debilitating and it really messes with your mind. But the worst for me is when I go through those weeks when I couldn't sleep and it's days, by day three, I'm just like dying for sleep, and this has really changed my life. I mean, I really mean that. I mean, I'll use it forever. I didn't understand how it worked, but I knew that it worked because I did my own experiment without even understanding I was doing an experiment, right? It really is powerful. And that just shows how powerful our brains are, like our mind. It's so powerful. And I think you're right. The body knows how to heal. We just have to give it the tools to do that, right?
I'm going to share with you one of the coolest things that I get to do. So I'm the CEO of this company. I get to work with celebrities. I was just out in Malibu. I get to work with 78 professional sports teams. I get to go to Quantico. I get to go to the Pentagon. I get to work with elite military. I get to work with pilots and doctors. The best work that I do is every month under the guidance of Dr. Janet Ranicky, an MD, PhD, and an angelic force of nature. She's been working in the cancer healing realm for 40 years. And 11 years ago, she founded the Comprehensive Cancer Wellness Program, and NuCalm, was the foundational therapy day one. So every month, I get to present NuCalm to people who have been given a notice from their medical oncologist to get their affairs in order. Okay. So they have stage 4 cancer and hope is no longer a part of their life. And it's a low energy state. They're scared. And I get to look them in the eyes and say, hey, guess what? You're not going anywhere. We're going to help you stay alive. NuCalm isn't going to cure cancer. That's not what we do. Your body can cure cancer if we can stop the chaos. As soon as you were diagnosed, your stress level was insane. Your fear, your anxiety, your worry, your anger, your confusion, the medical system, hanging out with other people with cancer, everything that you've gone through has accelerated the disease because you're not getting any peace of mind. You're not getting any rest. And your sleep, I'll say, hey, raise your hand if you slept well in the last 10 years. And they're like, no. So that's what we do. With this technology, using rescue during the day and deep sleep at night, you're staying alive. I
Yeah.
mean, that's how powerful the body is. So last month, a week ago yesterday, I did another presentation, but 3 weeks before that, I did a presentation. Dr. Ranicky started the presentation and said, hey, Jim, we have a special guest today. And she announced her name and said, this woman was at the first program in October of 2014. and she was given 30 days to live 11 years ago. Welcome back. How
Wow.
amazing is that? So if you want to know how powerful your brain is, here's the challenge. When we are diagnosed with a disease or we have trauma, your reptile part of your brain, your survival brain, takes over. And it doesn't allow us access to the good part of our brain, which is in our forehead.
Right.
And the strength of the survival instinct supersedes everything else and just takes over. It doesn't know. It doesn't know any better. There's no rational thinking. So it accelerates fear and anxiety and worry, and you're constantly in this perpetual loop of high stress and poor sleep, and you expire. You die that way. It doesn't have to be that way. But if you ask someone, hey, you have complex trauma, you just came back from the theater of war, you witnessed things you weren't supposed to see, you have traumatic brain injury, you're seeking solace in drugs and alcohol, why don't you go meditate? They can't meditate.
Yeah. So meditation for me I've never been good at meditating. I mean, I've tried hypnosis and all the things in my mind. I just can never quiet my mind down well enough for it to work, but it works. Um, this works because I'm not thinking of it as meditating, but I am meditating when I do it.
You are meditating. So in 2015, a book was written about this technology. And Michael Gallitzer is a world-renowned doctor. He introduced me to Tony Robbins like 11 years ago or whatever, 10 years ago. So he wrote a book about NuCalm. Now, it's a fascinating book. You can get it on Amazon. It walks through the invention of this neuroscience technology, but it also talks a lot about the biology of addiction. So it's fascinating, and it's written for all of us to understand. It's not written for medical to medical. And he wrote the book, and I called Tony Robbins, who's a dear friend of mine, and I said, Tony, Michael just wrote a book. I'd like you to write the foreword, which he did. And then I called the Yogananda monk who trained the Beatles on meditation, who'd been using NuCalm. And I said, Brother Craig, I'd like you to write the preface to this book. So we have a book about neuroscience where a nuclear reactor of energy, Tony Robbins wrote the foreword, and a monk wrote the preface, both using the same technology to derive benefit. So if we can chill out monks, and monks need to chill out, we're onto something here. So you asked me about daily recipes around healing, and we keep this very simple. Find time in your day, 20 or 30 minutes. And if you say you don't have time, then I say reevaluate your life choices.
Right.
If you don't have 1/48th of the day, which is 30 minutes, or 1/72nd of the day, which is 20 minutes, to take care of yourself and give your body the opportunity to heal, then please look in the mirror and reevaluate what your priorities are, because your to-do list is not more important than your health.
You have to
So
take
that's
care of
rescue.
yourself.
Okay.
So
And
this is
it's,
rescue, and
yes,
I'll do it. I'll do it on I'll put it. I'll screen record this and put it on there as well. So when I open this up, I see 20-minute, 30-minute, 40, 50, 70, 100, and 120.
so you
And
see choice and you see 15 years of constant innovation and work, 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 work. The 120 was designed for stage 4 cancer. We wanted to build something that was really powerful and engulfed you in this state of bliss and recovery. We have a lot of choices there. And here's what's cool. Your mind, my mind, your husband's mind knows when it's had enough recovery. So the time signature really is inconsequential. After you've used NuCalm, you've used power nap a few times and deep sleep, your body really covets balance, and it can get there quickly. Once you pull the plug on all the chaos, it gets into balance quickly. So you can select a rescue 70 track, but you're not in there for 70 minutes. You're in there for as long as you need to recover at that moment. And it could be 39 minutes, it could be 41 minutes. And so what happens is you're in this state and you're kind of in and out of consciousness, and all of a sudden you kind of just come to. I liken it to the button on a turkey. So on Thanksgiving, there's no warning sign. The button just pops. Well, there's no warning sign of recovery. Your brain is smarter than this technology. So you can select any time you want on that rescue. And behind each of those times are several tracks. So there's a lot of choice. So you can do Rescue 120, you can do Rescue 70. Personally, one of my favorites is Rescue 70. But recently,
so
we
they're
were
going to
able.
sound different to me.
All of the tracks have a different sound, whether
Oh,
it's environmental, whether we're using strings, whether we're using piano. And here's another thing that's fascinating. The music is beautiful. Now you're listening to deep sleep and you're listening more to environmental pieces. Power nap is instrumental. It takes us 1 year, and the longest track was 26 months to create a single track.
mm,
26 months. And you'd say, why? Well, what we're delivering to your brain is not music. Music is a distraction, it's a carrier. So, what we can't have happen is us compose music that interferes with the frequency of what we're trying to deliver. So, our production team, we've been working with them for the last 9 years. They're the best of the best. Production engineer, composer, musicians, they get a matrix. It's a mathematical matrix. And at minute one, the pitch might be 164 and the frequency might be 13.2 hertz. They have to make the music with the matrix. So it's incredible. It's like
wow.
neurosurgery to create. So
Way above my head.
Rescue has the value of being our core product for the last 15 years. So it has the most in there. Okay. Most choice. Deep Sleep, you'll see, I think has 11 tracks. Why is that? Because people are having difficulty sleeping and people want a silver bullet and people want ease. They want their problems solved. They don't want to work hard or read or listen or learn. They just want to be fixed. Well, how about putting start on your mobile app or your iPad with a speaker in your bedroom? Is that easy enough? So Deep Sleep, as soon as we launched it in November of 2021, became the top product in the world and the top tracks. Summer Rain is our top track around the world. We average 1.3 to 1.5 million minutes of NuCalm a day around the world. The top track is Summer Rain by far. It's not even close. The second top most popular track is Sonic Essence,
That's
which is
my
the one which is the one that sounds like white noise. The third most popular is Sleep Melodies. 7 of the top 10 tracks are all deep sleep. So it tells you what are people looking for? I
deep.
have sleep issues. And what's interesting, Shannon, is that we don't really understand sleep. And if we don't understand it, it's hard to figure out how to solve it. But the issue with your sleep is your inability to manage your stress. Stress and sleep are incompatible. The reason you're having difficulty falling into sleep or staying asleep is stress. So if we don't manage our stress, we're never going to have good REM and good deep sleep. So that's why the recipe is do rescue during the day or power nap and do deep sleep at night. And if you follow that simple recipe for the rest of your life, you'll be dreaming like you were as a child. You'll be sleeping through the night and you'll be waking up feeling rested, restored. Your ailments, your pain, your suffering will be significantly diminished. If you have a disease, Parkinson's, or any of these diseases, tinnitus, the symptomology is reduced. If you have migraines, the frequency of your migraines is reduced. If you have migraines, the intensity of your migraines reduced. Everything on this earth for a human is stress modulated. The more stressed we are, the more symptoms we have. Well, if you solve the stress piece, life is great.
Wow, that's inspiring. Now I really want to try the rescue. So for me to, because mine is all the pain and I really do need to heal the spine and the body and the things that I'm going through. So you would recommend me doing the rescue every like morning?
The best time to do rescue, like you go through your day, you seem to be a high performer with high energy. Between 12 and 4, specifically after we eat lunch, our body naturally takes a dip. Like our brain's like, I don't really feel like participating the rest of the day. Now, in America, because we're overachievers, we reach for espresso, Red Bull, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, Monster Energy. It's insane. But
Yeah.
if you listen to your body really just needs to unplug for a little bit. So during that time period is the best time to do rescue. And the
Okay. So
experience
I
is
don't do
profound.
energy drinks, but Mike does do energy drinks. So he'll say oftentimes when we're at the casino and we're playing, he's like, I've got to get a 5 hour. Off to the store he goes to get his 5 hour. Now I've started buying them by the box. So now I need to say, no, you need to go do a rescue
Correct. So
and see
first
how
of all,
that works.
two things will happen. Number one, he'll feel better with more clarity. Number two, we won't be creating toxins throughout his body and diminishing his cellular health. There's nothing good about the accelerant drinks that people are drinking. Nothing good at all. So yes, so you'll do rescue then. Now, you're traveling. You know that during the day you're not going to be able to squirrel 30 minutes to rescue. So in the morning when you get up on and you do rescue. So yes, you find a time in your day to do it. Now, when you get up from power nap, you feel amazing. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know how that did that, but I feel amazing and I'm going to have a great afternoon. So we recommend to all of our users across the globe, do not use rescue or power nap within 3 hours of your bedtime because you'll feel so good you won't want to go to sleep. So anytime from wake up to within 3 hours of your bedtime, rescue or power nap every day.
So if
That's
I can do
it.
rescue, power nap, and deep sleep every day, I'll be way better than where I've been.
Look, you will crush it. Your pain will be so diminished, you'll forget you even have pain. Um, in
So do you
1999,
where do you
yeah,
work that power nap in there?
power nap and rescue are kind of the same. I use power nap when I don't have 30 minutes. I use
Okay.
power nap like we're a global enterprise. So a lot of times I'll be present like tonight I've got a presentation at 7 o'clock. Whether it's Indonesia, Australia, Vietnam, you name it. And so you go through your day, I get up around 5:30 and I have all these calls. And at 7 o'clock, I want to have good energy. So I'll do power nap around 6 o'clock and then put my suit on and go do my presentation at 7 o'clock. So I use it as literally that power nap where I need to restore, have some balance, but I also need that energy and that focus.
Okay.
Okay. So I would, for you, because you're healing and healing is paramount to anything right now, I would use rescue over power nap and power nap when you just need, hey, I just need 20 minutes because I'm
I
gambling.
need to be doing rescue and deep sleep.
Yes.
And then Mike could do the power nap if he's just feeling really tired.
Yes. And
Okay.
rescue. Yep.
Rescue. Yeah.
Yep.
So that brings me to a question. Then can two people do it at the same time? Like if
You can't use the same app and a login. So you can't say, hey, honey,
let's
get
go do,
into my account because the software and the protection mechanisms will identify two people on the same account and kick one of you off.
yeah, that's the problem we've had. That's why he's gonna have to get his own login.
Yes, so it's
Yeah.
one subscription per person, but deep sleep obviously is different
Okay.
because you're in the same room. Okay, so I have some hope for you. You ready for some hope?
Yes.
Hope. In 1999, I had 4 discs cut out of my spinal cord. So I grew up as a wrestler and a martial artist, and that whole abuse pattern just compressed and herniated L1 through L5. So I was in a really bad shape. And being a tough guy and not complaining, I didn't complain really until both my legs turned purple and I had no reflexes left. So I was losing my ability to walk. So they cut me open. Now, that spinal surgery was pretty barbaric. They put you in a donkey harness face down and they cut your back muscles in half and they take your discs out. Now, growing up as a wrestler and a martial artist and a twin brother and football and all the stuff we did, I know pain. I
Yeah.
never felt pain like this. I never felt pain like this. When I got up from surgery, I was like, I don't know what they did. When my wife came into the post-op room and I could see on her face, she's like, oh my God. I was like, what'd they do to me? So from that point forward, from 1999 until 2009, every quarter, so I was a Wall Street private equity guy, so M&A, and I'd travel and those, but every quarter, my spine would put me down. I'd have to cancel trips and I just had to lie on ice for like a week and just get the inflammation down. If I ever went and saw a neurosurgeon, they'd want to cut me open again.
Mhm.
I got introduced to NuCalm October of 2009, began using it on a regular basis, and I have not had a single episode where I've been down for the count. I have not had a single episode in 15 years. Now I
Wow.
travel all over the world. I was just in Abu Dhabi. I'm home for the holiday, and then I head to Arizona. I travel 250 to 300 days a year. It's an absurd schedule. I'm dehydrated all the time. I'm
You
in
sound more than
flight.
I do.
I travel like crazy, and that's
Yeah.
just it is. But through all that travel, through all that compression of the spine, I don't have a lumbar region. I should never sit again. But because I use rescue every day and it oxygenates my body, the natural healing element, I have no pain. I can do whatever I want. I didn't have that luxury. So that's the hope that I'm going to provide you because C level pain, T level pain, L level pain, it doesn't matter. Your spinal cord can do a lot of havoc on your mind and your emotion and your spirit and your ability to want to do anything because the pain is so significant. By lying down and doing rescue and allowing your body to heal, we do the work. You don't do anything. You just lie down. That cumulative benefit, your pain's going away.
Wow. So, this gives so much hope. So one thing, I've dealt with this for 2 years, over 2 years, but the worst, over 2 years, but the worst has been the last year and a half after I had my neck surgery because everything got worse and worse and worse. And I too had back surgery 20 something years ago, but it was the best thing I ever did. They only did one level. Because I used to be the same way. My back would go out, I'd be in a wheelchair, and I mean, I couldn't live, right? That back surgery, when they did that 20 years ago, I've had 20 years, I've had no issues at all. This next situation has been a whole different ball game for me. And it is pain all the time. And like yesterday, I've kind of got it in a good place right now where it's not every day. But yesterday, just out of the blue, I was out, on the couch for the day. Should have done rescue probably. And I never know when that's going to happen. So it really is disrupting, to my life. I really have to take it day by day. And so I decided to go public with this journey, not to make money on YouTube or do any of those things. I just felt like I've heard of so many people that are going through what I'm going through. And I felt so hopeless at times that I felt like I needed to share my journey, share the things I've tried, and let people know they're not alone, right? Because this medical world we're dealing with is so different than what we used to do. How it used to be, where you had one doctor that really cared, that took over all your care. You got to go to this person, that person, and nobody talks to anybody. And you've got nurse practitioners in there and they don't talk to anybody either. And it can be that in itself can drain you, right? Just trying to look and search for answers and put all of that together. So I went public, decided to go public with the story, and I've had so many people reach out to me for different things, saying, I know exactly what you feel, minus the surgery, or I've had this, or I've had that. And I'm like, you really need to try this NuCalm. And it's so hard for me to explain how it works. It kind of sounds silly when I tell people, right? But it really does work. And now you've given me those answers and I can speak a little more intelligently. I just can't sing the praises enough. If you don't do anything but try the deep sleep, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to not sleep. I mean, that may be the worst, but try that if you don't try anything else. But if you're struggling with pain, try the rescue, right? But then you also can help people that need to focus or all these people that have ADD or ADHD. No, we didn't have this conversation before. I'm just assuming that there's also something for that as well.
Absolutely. On the bottom of our website, www.nucalm.com, on the bottom in the footer, there are 12 daily habits. Brain injury, military veteran, professional athlete, pilot, student, high school student. Everybody, you'll see it, there's a pattern. Everybody should use rescue and deep sleep every day because every day, every human on earth has stress coming at them and they need sleep. But then there's some nuances. Focus takes your brain to 18.4 hertz. It's an active channel for us. You put a headphone on while you're working. You put a headphone on while you're doing house chores. You put a headphone on while you're walking your pet. It doesn't matter. But we take your brain to a certain frequency where there are no distractions.
On the
We
focus.
on the focus.
Okay, so I don't have to lay there, put my mask on when I'm doing the focus. Okay, good to know.
And then ignite is the peak performance. Ignite takes your brainwave all the way up to 41 hertz. It takes us about 10 minutes to get there. Remember, we can't just take your brain to,
Right.
so everything has a ramp. Ignite is fascinating. You're going to love it. My goodness, you're going to get so much done in such little time. So in 2016, we built the physics platform Ignite. It's 10 to 13 minutes long, and it brings your brainwave to the highest frequency, 41 hertz. And in this state, we call high performance, mistake-free focus. So your body is activated and your mind is activated. From 2016 to 2021, we had 998 Special Forces operators, Navy SEALs, elite military operators, and professional athletes sign an NDA and had private confidential access to that technology. Nobody else on earth had it. So we studied it for 5 years. In 2017, Tony Robbins and I trained the Washington Capitals together, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. We took that training, we put it on top of our physics, and inside of our app in Ignite, there's a track called Certainty, where we're training the Washington Capitals, and Tony Robbins is overlaid on top of our physics. So we're amping you up, and this gentleman, 6'7", 285 pounds, is yelling at you. It's pretty wild. You put
I've
headphones
been to
on
Tony
and
Robbins
you
seminar, so
and you go. Okay. Then the next year, we had so much fun in a hotel room in Oakland, California. We trained the Golden State Warriors for 5 hours. So Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Draymond, the whole kit and caboodle. That track is on the app. It's called Gratitude. So Ignite, you put headphones on, you don't lay down. You don't put an eye mask on. You're doing stuff. You're working out. You're pre-workout. You're heading into a big board meeting. It doesn't matter. When you want to be amplified and on point and really focused and your energy channeled, then you listen to Ignite. So we have two products on the mobile app that are designed for action. Focus to give you mental acuity without burning out your adrenals. And then Ignite activates you. So we tell people stop listening to Ignite if you begin to feel over caffeinated. I'll listen to one or two tracks in a row and then I'm amped and I need to stop listening to it because then I'll start to feel like I'm over caffeinated, like I'm agitated. So to each his own on how, what, when, and why. We all are all different. Our desires are different. Our bodies are different. The beauty of why I shared with you the frequency of a human brain is this is math and physics. Your brain's the same as my brain. When your brain's at 1 hertz, we know what you're doing. You're in dreamless like deep sleep. When your
right.
brain's at 5 hertz, we know what you're doing. You're healing. When your brain's at 8 hertz, we know what you're doing. You're creative. At 18.4 hertz, you're focused. And at 41 hertz, you are amplified. So the beauty of what we figured out is that we don't need feedback from you. We're not seeking any information from you. You're selecting where you want to go, and we're directing your brainwave gently and naturally, guiding it through physics, through your ears, and we're taking you there. That's what we're doing. So if your husband's like, hey, you know what? I just want to be amped up a little bit. He doesn't need to drink Red Bull. It's terrible for him. He doesn't need 5 hour energy. It's terrible for him. He can just put headphones on, walk around the casino, walk around the block, get amped up with Tony Robbins yelling at him to win the NBA World Championship. And guess what? He goes back and he's laser focused. We work with professional gamblers. We work with 78 professional sports teams. What do you think these kids are listening to when they're walking into the arena? They're not listening to hip hop. They're listening to Ignite and they're getting amped up to access their training and their muscle memory. So there are a lot of different ways to use this, but again, let's start at the basics. Every day, every human on Earth, from monks to punks, pilots to passengers, use rescue during the day, deep sleep at night. That's the recipe for longevity, resilience, lowering inflammation, pain, etc. Then the other pieces, it's up to you. Power nap, if you just want, hey, I just need a little break, I just need to restore, and I've got a big afternoon ahead of me, do the power nap. Flow state, I want to be creative. I got a writer's block. I've got a big deadline and I just can't get out of my own way. You do flow state. Focus, I'm working, I'm looking at a contract. I don't want to make any mistakes. Headphones on, I'm at my keyboard. And then ignite, I'm running around the block at a high rate of speed, even though I'm not a runner, because I'm listening to ignite and it's igniting my brain.
Okay. Perfect. That's the best way and easiest way to explain it. So you pick what you need and you go for it. And then inside of each, there's 6 different
Product. Yep.
products.
Product.
So
Yep.
each product, so each tab is a product. Then there's different tracks within that product that you can listen to. And they're all
Yes.
going to sound different. You can switch it around, but don't pay attention to if it's 120 minutes and you don't have 120 minutes. You may only do 20 minutes of that, and that's okay.
Correct.
Right.
And,
Okay.
and inside each product, it also has a little icon, what you need to succeed. You'll see a mobile
Yeah.
app, you'll see a headphone, and then for deep sleep, you'll see a mobile app and you'll see a speaker. For
Okay.
flow state, power nap, and rescue, you'll see an eye mask.
Right.
Kind of tell you, hey, here's what you need. For focus and ignite, you won't see an eye mask. You'll just see a mobile device and a headphone.
And you can use over-the-ear headphones, or you can use
Over
the
the ear is better because it's a better sound, it's a better quality. There's a lot of information that's coming to your mind. And
okay.
then for deep sleep, a speaker in your bedroom. The speaker on a mobile phone is not, is you're getting like 10% of the effect of
Yes,
the
a Bose speaker,
perfect.
small Bose speaker. In fact, we even travel with it because Mike knows
Perfect.
how important it is for me to have that. And then we turn it up and we all listen to it. I even think it helps the dog sleep better.
It does. Well,
I
it's
really
funny you
do.
say that.
Yeah.
So dogs and cats and horses, we've been working with for 15 years. Guess what they can hear? They can hear
I
the physical.
see.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can't. So humans, for us, what we do is inaudible. You can't hear what we're doing, but all the pets can. So yes, so we have three cats, and when we NuCalm, our cats end up on the bed, even if they're downstairs. So they hear it and they chill out to it, and they love it.
That's it's so incredible. It really, really is incredible. And then on mine, I have even I guess it's a new product or another product, the Mastermind.
So the Mastermind Vault. So we have several tiers of subscription. And remember, we used to be a $6,000 regulated FDA medical device. So we
Right.
used to know our customers. And then in 2021, we launched the subscription business. We have an Edge subscription, which gets you access to everything. Okay. All the six products. We have a Sleep Suite subscription that gets you access to Power Nap, Rescue, and Deep Sleep. So that's for people healing who don't they either can't afford $50 a month or they don't want focus and ignite. They just want to heal. Then the
Right.
mastermind is a $3,495 subscription. So it's not inexpensive. It gives you 5 years access to all of our technology. This year, we launched 24 new tracks. You pay for nothing. It just goes right into the app and you use it. In addition to that access, you are allowed to give away 5 annual Edge subscriptions to anyone on this earth. So it's a force multiplier. So our masterminds are near and dear to us, and they help us with our product development, and we have a lot of interaction with them. And they're like, "Hey, we want a family plan." So that's their family plan. They get to give away 5 annual licenses. They
I was
also get the
asking that next because I'm like, all my kids need this for Christmas.
yeah, so Mastermind does that. So then the clinical package is designed for cancer patients, pilots, medical surgeries, professional athletes. That comes with a disc that goes on your wrist. The
I saw
mastermind,
it today.
yeah. So the masterminds get that package and they get access to the mastermind vault. So in the vault is a whole new product offering that isn't available to the public. And there's currently 11 tracks in there, including some voiceover focus tracks with Jim Quick, the world's
Yes.
leading brain coach.
The world leading, I'm sorry.
Brain coach.
Okay.
So Tony Robbins and I have been friends for 10 years. He's been using NuCalm every day for 10 years. Jim Quick and I have been friends for more than 7 years, and he's been using NuCalm every day for 7 years. So we have done two collaborations, one with Tony Robbins and one with Jim Quick. So in the Mastermind Vault is where all these kind of secret goodies exist.
Okay. So that I need to get used to using this first, then I can move on to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yes, rescue and deep sleep. Those are
Okay.
your baby, those are your babies until you're like, you know what? I'm pain free and I'm starting to take on my life again.
That's awesome. I'm so excited to even to share this with more people. I mean, really, it is incredible. And y'all have the patent. There's nobody out there that does this, right? Nobody else.
Well, good luck trying to figure it out. If you knew Blake Holloway, and there are audios on our website, you could just hear him for 5 minutes. Like, okay, this person's like not normal. It took the man 19 years to figure this out. And for the last 15, we've been refining it. We have the only patents in the world. We're the only product in the world that's gone through the regulatory. And we have the best scientists on our advisory board. So we're good. There's nobody's going to come after us anytime soon because no one has the patience, no one has the intellectual capacity to pull it all together. I mean,
Right.
34 years is a long time to get here.
It is and amazing. I mean, just amazing. I just think it can help so many people. And, it really isn't that expensive if you consider what I'm spending on all these doctor visits and medications and trying all these different things. And, the way that I mean, time is money, right? And I've lost so much time with work and energy to work. I mean, the brain, when you go through so much pain, like I just sometimes can't even open up my computer. I just know I'm going to be in pain if I do. So I don't, right? I mean, it's such a mental thing. Um, I'm just so glad I found y'all. And I just thank you so much for sitting down and doing this interview. I think it's going to help so many people. I mean, I've told my doctors, my chiropractors, everybody that'll listen to me, I've told about NuCalm. I just believe in it so much. I mean, it's not a gimmick. Try it for free for 7 days and see. You'll miss it when it's gone. I really,
Tell all the mamas that you know, because mamas have the empathy, mamas have the care. They want to take care of their partner and their kids and their parents. It's
yeah,
important.
it is important. It is important, and nobody's doing it like NuCalm is doing it. And to have the people, I mean, that was one of the things y'all work with a lot of high profile people that are backing this, that are behind this, that are involved in this, but that you're helping, right? I mean, the military doesn't just take on anybody and let
No.
them. No, no,
We've been working with the elite military for 13 years. They wouldn't
yeah,
put anything on their elite operators that wasn't working. So, and then
absolutely.
special athlete, FedEx Pilots Union, doctors, surgical procedures, you name it, we've been doing it.
That is so exciting. So tell me, something new? What can we look forward to? I know you've got more coming up.
Well, we just released for us, we made Deep Sleep stronger. We released Deepest Sleep. And then we
Okay,
released Deepest Sleep Plus. So we're really focusing our attention on continuously building out the strength of the outcome, which is the physics and the mathematics underneath the music. And then one thing I really like is the voiceover work. It's a lot harder and takes us a lot longer to build those. But like with Jim Quick, we can put your brain into a state where it's permeable and open to learn the words I'm listening to, not just have the words go in one ear and out the other ear. So when your brain is in a state where I'm ready to learn, and then you have words of wisdom, I love that. So the Tony Robbins voiceover tracks, we've got 4 Tony Robbins tracks in the Ignite piece, and then we've got a couple from Jim Quick in the Mastermind Vault. So we're constantly looking at how do we build more tracks like that just to help you kind of reprogram your negative thought patterns, the things that kind of get in your way, the obstacles. We're all human. And so we all have the same consequence of being creatures of habit, not because we want to be, but our central nervous system is constantly evaluating patterns and wants familiarity. So we as a human species are resilient and we can also normalize really bad things. We can
right.
normalize almost anything because it's a pattern recognition. Your
Absolutely.
brain's always looking for patterns. Even if it's not a healthy pattern, it's a
Right.
pattern which gives us comfort. So you put a headphone on and we bring your brain to 18.4 hertz, which means there's no distraction, there's no other conversations going on behind your eyes. And then Jim will teach you ways for learning or memory, and you learn it. So for
Right.
me in the morning, I listen to Wake Up and I walk around and it allows me to program my mind for the day.
Now, which one is that?
It's in Mastermind.
Okay.
It's called Wake Up, and it is
Wait,
amazing.
I
And
see it. Jim Quick.
it's like 7 minutes long. It's short, so I'll loop it. Interestingly enough, Shannon, the amygdala, which is the reptile part of our brain and manages fear and stress and worry, that's the first thing that wakes up in our brain physiology in the morning. Nobody wakes up feeling gratitude, love, joy, and appreciation. Everybody wakes up thinking what their day holds, who they disappointed, what conflict they have to resolve. I call it the itty bitty shitty committee. That's
Right.
the reptile brain that is the first thing that wakes up in the morning. So I put that headphone on. As soon, I get up, I go to the bathroom, I put clothes on, and I get outside and I put headphones on and I listen to that track and it allows me to program what I want to think about, not what my reptile brain wants me to think about. So there are a lot of ways to kind of figure out how to gain better control over your thought patterns and your mind and your ability to achieve at a high level and keep it going on a consistent basis.
Yeah, which is so important. And with the pain and the things I've been going through, I've kind of gotten off of that. I used to do some of that just really naturally, but I've been so hyper focused on this pain and the frustration with it that it's just really derailed me. So I really think some of these things will help me be more productive. I'm really looking forward to that. And it's amazing that it can, help people with healing with their cancer. I mean, it's the mind is so powerful. And I went back to a specialized chiropractor that practices Gonstead chiropractor. It's a Gonstead method, which is back to the 1800s, but very few chiropractors. It's a very scientific method. I swore chiropractors off years ago after I went to one for 15 years with my back, and I really needed surgery. It's really what I needed, right? This guy's different. They just go hand in hand, but your spine is your highway of nerves. It's your highway to healing, and it just goes so perfectly with this. I think together, with that and this, I just think it's going to help me, so much. If I ever need surgery, I do at some point, right? But I sure as heck don't want my entire neck fused. I would really like to not do that at 53 years old. That's
I'm not. I'm not. In 1999, I swore to my body that I wouldn't let a surgeon cut me open again. So I just tore my left shoulder rotator cuff. I'm not being operated on. I'll deal with it. It'll be a slower return to health, but
right.
you're not cutting me open again.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, I've done it too many times and yeah, it's not healthy. And as we get older, so many of us can benefit. There's just so many ways, so many people. I think every child that struggles with attention needs to have this. So that would be an interesting concept. So I also own a child care center. I would love to know how to play this during nap time.
That's simple.
And
So
those times,
through your speaker system, you would play rescue at nap time. It's going to blow your mind because
Okay.
the kids will be laying down. The people that are working there, they're not going to fall asleep because their eyes are still open, but they're going to feel relaxed. But the kids will fall asleep amazingly. Yeah, literally through the loudspeaker, you play rescue during the day at nap time. Hey kids, it's time for nap. No, I don't want a nap. Oh yes, you got a nap. Because here's rescue. You hear that?
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have to talk online about how I can make that happen because
That's easy.
yeah. So do you do a family plan other than the mastermind, or is that something
We
we might
don't.
see? No,
You
no.
may we may see that in the future.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. And we do enterprise stuff. And we work in homes with people with dementia. We do a lot of work in professional sports. We do a lot of work with pilots. So there's a lot of different places. And because we're software only now, we're no longer a complicated medical device. It's easy for us to deploy and make things easy for people. We also
Yeah.
do hospitality in Southeast Asia. When you go into a high value hotel, like a beautiful place, you can literally buy a night of deepest sleep through the television and sleep.
Wow.
It's $9.99 a night. And you just through the TV, you select a track you want. Hey, I want Summer Rain, I want Sonic Essence. You press play, we put you to sleep. So there's a lot of things we can do.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Well, Jim, I can't wait to continue to bring this to our audience and learn and be a part of this and share this in my journey because I think it is really going to make a big impact, not just to me, but to many people. So I hope I can help you spread that word and continue this partnership because I really believe in what y'all are doing. And I thank you for changing my life. It really has changed my life. So
You're just
uh,
at the beginning, girl. It's just
I,
starting for you. This is gonna be an amazing journey for you. And you take pain out of the equation, your life is gonna be so much better.
Oh man, I tell you, and so many people live in chronic pain every day. I had no idea. And yeah, it's not a fun place to be, I tell you. It's
No,
not.
it's not. Well,
Mm-mm.
welcome to the family and welcome to the Matrix.
Thank you.
It's
So
fascinating science, but it's easy to use. So
yeah, I'm so excited. And hey, to have Tony Robbins in your ear every day, I mean, on repeat, we all could use a little bit of that.
we could, yes, we could absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Jim, and we'll sure continue on with more interviews and updates, and I'll keep everybody posted on my journey. Go get the NuCalm app, go to the website, and click It has all the information and all the things that you could ever want to know on that NuCalm site. You can go to the App Store or the Google Store and download the app and try it free for 7 days. So I encourage you all to give it a try and let us know what you think about it in the comments of this video. Appreciate you following along my journey. And if you know somebody that's struggling, even if it's not their neck or their back, but they're just having chronic pain issues or mental health issues, invite them to follow along and subscribe to our channel. We're going to be bringing you so many things that are going to help anybody in your everyday life restore hope, purpose, faith, and strength. So I hope if you enjoy these videos that you will choose to subscribe. Be sure to comment because it really helps keep me going, and share. That's how you can help us, help you, and help others.